Hey everybody, welcome to day 2 of the Southeast Asia Partner Accelerator. My name's Neil. I head up partnerships for Shopify Plus here in Southeast Asia, and I'm going to take you through a number of high-level topics around Shopify Plus. We're going to start with an introduction into what Shopify Plus actually is. Then I'll take you through the process for referring Plus leads and how you can best interact with the Shopify Plus team. Then we'll go into some high-level information on what the Plus Partner Program is, before I leave you with some Plus resources that you can dig into after the session, before we jump into the Q&A. Now, when we talk about what Shopify Plus is, we start with this statement, which is a very, very bold statement, but it's the statement that birthed Shopify Plus. What we're saying is enterprise software is broken for the people it was made for. And so we found this ourselves in that back in 2014, we had a situation where our most successful merchants had to move platforms. They had to continue this cycle of constantly upgrading, things getting harder to use, migrating platform to platform. And we see this in every step of a business's journey. So if you think about, you yourselves will do some accounting as you're starting your businesses, and that accounting probably starts with a pen and paper, which is pretty easy to use and doesn't really cost much. Eventually, you'll then maybe move on to a spreadsheet, and then maybe you'll go from there to Intuit or Xero or QuickBooks or something like that. And then maybe something like SAP as you move further up the chain. And the point is that you have to keep moving. Things get harder to use, and they cost more. And that's just a constant cycle in every part of a business. And that was a cycle that we wanted to break. It didn't make sense that our most successful customers had to leave the platform. And so what we mean is enterprise software isn't necessarily broken. It just doesn't work for the customer that was made for, or at least that's what we believe. And so in 2014, we did launch Shopify Plus to allow us to stretch upmarket and make a platform that brands don't outgrow. What we realized after doing that is that brands and businesses who weren't using Shopify already, they were coming to Shopify Plus migrating from other platforms. They found a value proposition in what we were offering, and they were a segment in the market that they felt was underserviced until we launched. And so fast forward to now, Shopify Plus is our offering for high growth, high volume brands who are looking to innovate. And so when we also talk about the typical Shopify Plus merchant, it's an incredibly broad spectrum from $1 million a year to $1 billion a year. Smaller brands like us for the ease of use and the automation that they can put in place to save themselves time and keep their teams lean, while someone like Nestle or Kylie Cosmetics or so on, they like us for our extensibility, integration capability, and the overall scalability of the platform. Within Shopify Plus, we have a few features that are exclusive for Shopify Plus. Shopify Flow is one of them. I mentioned automation. Shopify Flow allows merchants to automate tasks within their store and across their apps in very few clicks. It's a 3-step process. It enables powerful automation in a very simplistic form. It allows businesses to grow their teams grow their businesses while doing more with their existing teams and resources, and eliminate those manual gaps by filling gaps between their e-commerce platforms and their various services. A pretty simple example of this is tagging customers who order a certain number of products, or order a certain frequency, or even a certain value as VIP, so that they can sit in a different marketing funnel. Shopify Scripts is another Plus exclusive feature. This allows merchants to deliver personalized experiences at checkout with custom code. Line item shipping and payment discounts means that you can provide targeted discounts and promotions to your customers, and you can automate all of these with the combination of Scripts and Flow. And so you don't need to worry about support or maintenance during high traffic events thanks to the native integration with the Shopify servers. And this is particularly useful for flash sales and promotional experiences. And this is where our merchants need partners' help to put these together. Another Plus exclusive feature is Launchpad. Launchpad is our flash selling application. It allows merchants to schedule and monitor their revenue-generating events like sales campaigns or big product drops, and manage those content changes using Launchpad. They can automate their event checklist to save time and prevent human error while running a large-scale event, and schedule those front-end customizations in advance to deliver smooth customer experience from product page to checkout. What this means is there's no more staying up to midnight to change over a theme or make a front-end change on a website when a campaign is going live. It also allows you to track performance to better understand your buyer behavior. In addition to these, we also have increased API call limits, plus exclusive APIs like multi-pass and gift card APIs, as well as checkout customization. Now, let's say you have a Plus opportunity, or what you think is a Plus opportunity. Let's talk about what that process looks like and what those opportunities look like. And so the top 3 merchant challenges that we see within this region. Number 1, complex customization and bespoke themes are required to deliver the best customer experience and improve conversion rate optimization. This is where our merchants need our partners. To get the most out of the Plus platform, partners need to have in-depth knowledge of Shopify and Shopify Plus to be able to deliver these bespoke experiences. Backend integrations with ERPs, POS systems, and warehousing all require Shopify expertise, as well as general coding expertise and integration know-how. And thirdly, one of the most pressing challenges for merchants is how quickly can they launch their site to actualize revenue? When we look at Shopify Plus versus some other competing platforms, one of our strongest value propositions is our time to market. But what we're also reliant on is capability within our partner ecosystem to deliver on time, quickly, with high quality. So these translate to opportunities for our partner agencies. Bigger brand names and more noteworthy logos to build case studies around. The merchants that are using Shopify Plus, particularly within this region, are household names. Brands and retailers in the region are investing in new technologies more than ever. The pandemic was obviously a big driver for this. And what we're seeing is legacy transformation in retail, new ventures going online for the first time, or businesses looking to increase their investment in their online business and move over to Shopify Plus, either from one of our small business plans or from another platform. Finally, Shopify Plus is growing fast, but we still have a lot of room to grow in this region, so there's a lot of upside here. And so if you do have an opportunity that you think is worth collaborating on for Shopify Plus, the first step is referring that lead. Shopify Plus requires sales input. We have a one-to-one approach with our merchants who use Shopify Plus. And so step 1 is you register your lead at the link here below. You can also access this link within your referral section of your dashboard. Once you fill in your prospect's information, a member of our sales concierge team will get in touch to help determine if there's a fit for Shopify Plus. The sort of questions that they'll ask around is, is there a piece of functionality within Plus that is a necessity for this merchant? Is the merchant aware that the cost for Shopify Plus starts at $2,000 a month? Is the merchant aware of this and are they comfortable with that cost? These are the sorts of things that they'll ask to make sure that it's qualified for Shopify Plus. Once you refer that lead, we then break down our sales process into pre and post contract. And so in the selling side, you'll be working with the sales representatives who are providing sales support on a per prospect basis. So every merchant that you work with, you'll likely be working with a different member of the team. They will then enlist the support of our solution engineer team. Now, this is a mutual technical resource to help technically qualify the merchant for Shopify Plus and help design the architecture around what that launch and implementation looks like. Now, once the sales process is done and the merchant has signed their contract with Shopify Plus, we then move into the post-contract phase, which is building. The launch engineer team, they are a resource that works with both the merchant and the partner to help essentially get that merchant live. And then, once they're live and up and running, they then are handed over to the merchant success team. They're a strategic resource for our merchants. The merchant success program is one of the key benefits of Shopify Plus, where our team provide strategic e-commerce consultation for our merchants to drive growth. And so our partners sit across all of these sections. So when referring a lead, they'll work with the salesperson, they'll work alongside the solution engineer, they'll then work with the launch engineer, and then they'll collaborate with the merchant success team if they have an ongoing relationship with that merchant. So it's incredibly important for our partners to build relationships with people across these different parts of our business. And so now let's talk about the Plus Partner program. So the way we see Plus Partnerships is that we're in a unique position here at Shopify Plus. Our product is at the core of an e-commerce agency's business more often than not. And what we mean by that is e-commerce platforms in general are usually at the core. And what this enables us to do is it allows us to move away from traditional partnerships with partners, which are really based around product. There's a sales focus, there's a lack of business understanding, and the focus is really on creating value for Shopify Plus. And instead, within the Plus Partner program, we move into what we call Transformational Partnerships. This is based around understanding the agency deeply. We understand the agency's North Star, what they're going for, what their goal is. And we build our targets and goals and motivations around that North Star. And the idea is that we create value not just for Shopify Plus and for our merchants, but also for our agency partners as well. What we value in our partnerships, starting, is quality over quantity. We don't want a huge number of Plus partners. We're only looking for the most committed, and they have to be culturally aligned to our business and reflect the needs of our merchants. We then look for culture over competition. So when we talk about culture, we work backwards from our own internal targets to determine the number of Plus partners that we need at any given time. And that's to ensure a sustainable ecosystem, and really and truly, we want to avoid price wars so that our partner agencies can actually grow and thrive. Partnerships also have to be earned, right? And this goes both ways. Plus partners have to earn their place. It means that they have to have proven that they can sell, that they can collaborate with our team in each step of that process that I shared earlier. And they have to show that they can execute on the Plus platform well before they're even considered for Plus partnership. Finally, we say a default to Shopify Plus. It's an expectation that our Plus partners default to Shopify Plus. This isn't something we expect from day one, but the idea is that it's the default solution unless it's not the best solution for the merchant. Because as I'll get into later, we expect our Plus partners to be ambassadors for the program. So digging deeper into some of our expectations, we need our partners to deliver great merchant experiences, follow community guidelines, and be those ambassadors. So deliver great merchant experiences. What does that mean? Put the merchant first. That's what should always be at the core of the program. Always put the merchant first without jeopardizing your relationship with Shopify Plus. Educate your team. Make sure your team is aware of updates around Shopify and Shopify Plus. Make sure you're passing on your learnings from your merchants to your team for the betterment of all of us. Stay aligned with our team. This is where communication is really important. Our Plus partners have bi-weekly or monthly one-to-ones with their partner manager, where they make sure that they're completely aligned with the goals of Shopify Plus, and we make sure that we're aligned with theirs. Deliver quality work. It's kind of obvious, that one. And collaborate with other partners. And so what we've always tried to intentionally build is a collaborative ecosystem. Often partners will need to work together, and that level of collaboration is absolutely necessary for this program to work. Follow community guidelines. We can share our mission and community guidelines separately, but it can be best summarized as: always act with integrity, be honest and transparent, be respectful and collaborative, put our merchant first, as mentioned before, without jeopardizing our partnership, and most importantly, deliver on our promises and be held accountable for doing so. A big part of the Plus Partner program is that we set our joint targets and we hold each other accountable for them. Whether it's the number of deals that are closed, whether it's the level of functionality required for a certain project, or whether it's a number of a growth in leads. These are things that we expect results from, and we hold ourselves accountable too. And finally, be ambassadors for the program. Share your merchant stories, share your case studies, share knowledge both internally and externally with the wider ecosystem around what you've done with Shopify Plus. And most important, respect the rules of engagement. This goes back to acting with integrity. Our Shopify Plus partners are handpicked. They are the best of the best within the industry, and we only onboard those that make sense. And so we have high expectations from them. So how we evaluate our partners is in three distinct sections. So one, merchant experience. This is really pre-contract. We're looking for the sales focus. How many deals are coming from our partners? How many deals are our partners involved in? What the close rate is? Are they working with notable brands? Are they working on high complexity projects? And is the merchant happy with that process? The merchant experience post-contract is very much the same. Are they utilizing all of the Plus features available so that the merchant is getting the most out of the platform? How many Plus clients are they working with post-sale? What's their merchant retention like on the platform? And how many incident reports are generated? And also, importantly, how they work with the Plus team in collaborating for the betterment of the merchant. And then finally, technical performance. So our teams will perform audits on stores. Plus partners get access to Plus sandboxes, and how much they're utilized will count. And overall, the feedback from the Shopify Plus teams that I'd mentioned before, as well as the merchants, are factored in. And so what that means is it moves into this sort of journey. And so what I want to stress is not every partner needs to aspire to working with Shopify Plus, particularly because not every partner will be selected. As I mentioned, we handpick our partners. We're not looking for a huge amount. If you look into our partner directory, you'll see that in Asia in particular, we don't have a huge number, and globally we don't have a huge number, and that's intentional. But if there is a fit, and if you are passionate about moving in this direction to take advantage of the enterprise opportunity and the higher value projects that come with that, then you start at enablement. So this is self-driven learning. Engage with the partner team and establish a fit with Plus. Look at the sort of clients that you're working with and start getting yourself up to speed on Shopify Plus as a platform. The resources are there. The Partner Academy, the technical documentation, and development stores are really there for you to test and learn. And most Plus features can be enabled on Shopify development stores. This is where we talk about the partnership must be earned. So you need to win some projects. You need to get some Shopify Plus projects live. And then we'll assess them. And if you're following the process that we mentioned before in referring leads and collaborating with the team, then you'll have our attention. We'll assess live Plus projects, your co-selling capabilities, your solutioning capabilities, and general market perception of the work that you've done. That process can take 3 to 12 months. I've never seen it take 3 months. Then we're into strategy. So this is when we've decided that we will work together. There is a fit for the Plus program, and then we'll start to set goals together and agree targets based on that strategy and based on the performance before. And so if we're expecting high growth in a given market or country, our goals will be higher. If we're not investing as much, then our goals will be a little more modest. But the main thing is that we hold each other accountable to those goals. And then we reevaluate. So every Plus partner has to requalify for the program every year. They have to be an accountable partner to the ecosystem, constantly engage with our teams, and we'll constantly review it. And if a partner isn't living up to the standards that we both set with each other, then we have to address those. And again, the goal is to deliver the best merchant experience as possible. So Plus partners, what do they get in terms of support, and what are some of the core outcome differences of the core partner program? So we have our Plus partner public directory. At time of recording, we have 207 partners on there around the world. We showcase our partnership, and we provide a place for our Plus partners to have an identity within our platform, and publicly showcase what we do better together than we do apart to the wider world. This is where partners can showcase services, they can share their case studies, thought leadership pieces, and their connections with the wider ecosystem within Shopify, whether it's technology partners or other service partners. We also are able to provide merchant introductions. So when merchants come directly to Shopify, they'll go through the same process that I outlined previously. They'll talk through the Shopify Plus fit with the sales concierge and sales teams. They'll work with solution engineers. And at that point, usually a need for a partner agency, if the capability isn't available in-house, will come up. So our Plus partners, they receive introductions from our teams to Plus prospects and merchants, whether they are waiting to sign with Shopify Plus or whether they've been working with Shopify Plus for a few years and just need to get a little bit extra out of the platform. Revenue share. So we understand that incremental revenue is obviously an important part of an agency's business. Shopify Plus partners receive 20% of a revenue share from the monthly subscription, which is $2,000 at the time of broadcasting this, on a monthly basis, as long as they continue to be active on the account and as long as they continue to be an active partner and the merchant is paying Shopify Plus. Now, for non-Plus partners, we still provide a revenue share, but that revenue share is 10%, so it's half the amount. Still a significant amount, though. We also provide co-marketing support, whether this is strategic support in terms of what content to push and content generation. But we also provide our Plus partners with budgets to run their online marketing campaigns on social channels like Facebook or Google, and or providing copyright support for their own content on their own website. We will also support digital events and hope to one day, when we can, support physical events again. And that's another benefit of being a Plus partner. And finally, the dedicated partner management model. So Plus partners work directly with dedicated partner managers on a one-to-one basis, where they set their strategy, where they communicate and align with Shopify and receive overall guidance, not just on Shopify itself, but how they can support and structure their business and how they can take their own agency business to the next level. We understand that Shopify Plus partners are not in a silo. Everybody is an entrepreneur. Everybody is looking to make the best out of their business and support their team. The Plus Partnerships team is there to help and support with that. Most of the team have come from diverse backgrounds, have been on agency side, and so know what the challenge is of running that P&L, and are able to provide guidance, consultation, and support around solving those complex business challenges outside of just understanding, how best to make use of the Shopify Plus platform. And finally, here's some resources that I'll leave you with. So first is the Partner Academy. I've linked below, and these will be some of the assignments that are optional for you to go through and look at. So we have Shopify Plus Fundamentals, where you'll get to grips with the basics of Shopify Plus. some information on how to scope Shopify Plus projects, which is one of the most important parts of understanding whether a project is a fit for Shopify Plus or not, and launching Shopify Plus projects. The difference between launching a single store versus launching potentially 5, 6 to 10 expansion stores that come with Shopify Plus. Next will be the development stores. So in the previous session, Namra mentioned about how you can set up your own development stores to allow you to test. You're also able to install Shopify Plus specific applications like the Scripts editor and Flow to get familiar with the functionality and test. And then finally, if you're working on a Plus prospect, make full use of the pre and post contract teams that you'll be working with at Shopify Plus. The sales concierges, the sales reps, the solutions engineers, the launch engineers, and finally the merchant success managers. If you've been working with Shopify for a long time, you may have a dedicated partner manager. Make the most use of the Shopify Plus team and the Shopify team that you can, and start building those relationships. And that's it for this session. Now, I hope it's been useful, and I'll wrap up now, and we'll move into the Q&A section. Thank you very much. Bye now.